Not live and almost from Beverly Hills, it's the Bob Dean Show. Yay. Welcome back to the Bob Dean Show. This is our fourth episode, in living color. You don't know, who knows? So now we are available on YouTube as well, the Bob Dean Show. Please have your friends, first of all, subscribe to us on iTunes, because that's where we get lots of credits. You can also listen on Stitcher on your Android app, STITCHER, or on my website, bobstrolleycomic.com. Now, let's see. We are welcoming back, I'm trying to think of anything we need to highlight on. Can't think of anything. We are welcoming back previous guest and guest star, Mr. Dewayne Henry.
That would be me.
That's Dewayne. And then, of course, my sometimes co-host, Cathy St. George, is late, again. So she'll be joining us at some point. And I also want to say hi to Joe and Samee and Dennis and Zach Herndon, way in Bloomington. Hey, Zach, yay. And let's see what else. We're broadcasting from the LA School of Comedy, 10835 Santa Monica Boulevard in beautiful Persian Westwood, next to the massage parlor. Yay. Owned and operated by Miss Sunda Kronquist. She's a friggin' hilarious woman. And come to us for all of your comedy needs. See him. All right, let's get this thing going on here now. Dewayne, I'm happy to see you. Welcome back.
Thank you very much, Bob.
You're always a delight. Dewayne is one of my friends from Beverly Hills, and his lovely gal, Brandy.
I am.
And you guys are the bon vivants of Beverly Hills, pretty much.
So they say.
Well, it's a fact. You guys are cool as shit, and what a great couple. And you should see them cruising around in convertibles and stuff on Sunday afternoon. It's just a delight.
Classic convertibles.
Yeah, it warms your heart. Dewayne used to have a friggin' awesome 56 white T-Bird convertible. It was swank. And I love the chrome on that thing too.
Oh boy, wasn't it shiny?
Yeah. And what did you? Now I know you didn't want to discuss your Benz because we did it on the last show, but I want to. So you sold the T-Bird because you wanted to just concentrate on the Mercedes Benz.
Well,
is that right?
I sold the T-Bird because I wanted to, and it was just time to go.
Mm-hmm.
You know. But yes, I wanted to concentrate on the Mercedes and complete that restoration, and I've done so.
Yeah. You're just re-chroming a little bit. You told me last night.
Yeah, but the outcome turned out great. It's great.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're going to have to do a little outdoor video one day, and you're going to bring that car over here.
Yeah.
I cannot wait to take a ride in. I'm not kidding. See, when you got rid of your like, I have a hard time. I mean, I've got that old beat-up station wagon. That in my mind, it's worth $1 million.
Sure.
But it's like $1,500 I'll be lucky to get for it. It's all beat up and shit like that. But I just love that car, and
right.
and like I'm so unlike my brother. He's like, pitch it. Sell it. Everything can be, that sort of thing. And it's true. If you can make some money, then do it.
Sure.
But that's why, and then, of course, my convertible caught on fire.
Okay.
But she is at Quality Automotive. Oh, I needed to shout out, too. Quality Automotive on Sautel in Santa Monica next to the New Art Theater, where Frank is rebuilding the engine. And who was I shouting out to, Dennis? Remember? The lady from...
Brianna
huh?
Brianna and Ameritech Signs.
Oh, yeah. I want to shout out to Brianna. What's her last name? Something... Oh, it's not on there. Well, Brianna from Geico, thanks a lot. I do appreciate it because I thought it was going to be a big old disaster. And I want to shout out to, what's the guy? Ameritech Signs. I forgot your name, buddy, that made our beautiful new banner over here. But he was real cool, too, and he gave me a little discount because I told him I'd give a shout out. So that's that. All right, now back to Mr. Henry. It's good to see you. Now, we are going to talk about the Playboy Mansion when Cathy gets here.
Sure. Can't wait for that.
Because Dwayne's he's going to tell us all about his experience and time working at the Playboy Mansion. And I swear to God, I can't wait to hear it, especially when Cathy gets here. But
best job I have had in the world.
I bet it was cool.
It's the best.
But let's wait till she gets here because I want to hear all about it.
Absolutely.
Now, we talked before in the last show when you and Brandy were on. We talked about a lot about it was your career in the television and film in the 90s.
Right.
And tonight we're going to concentrate, or this afternoon or evening, whenever you're listening out in radio podcast land, about your real estate career here in Beverly Hills.
Absolutely.
I know you are a mover and a shaker and always doing business. Your evening time out when you stop into Wolfgang's with Brandy is obviously your personal time. But I know you're always on the go during the day.
Always on the go.
So
Day and night.
You are with WEA.
West Side Estate Agency.
And you specialize in?
Luxury residential real estate.
Luxury renting and sales?
Correct.
Because there's a lot of folks, especially that come into Wolfgang's. My rent-paying job, Wolfgang Steakhouse by Wolfgang's Wiener. coming and tip me fat, that like are from Palm Beach, and they come and they rent in our our summer season because it's so stinking hot in Florida.
Right.
And there was a couple that who's Jody Watley's house or something like that they were renting. But Los Angeles is just such an incredible. You're a native, as we talked about
Born
before.
and raised, second generation.
Yep, and it's such a friggin' awesome town, and there are so many endless, beautiful custom homes.
Beautiful homes.
It's outrageous.
Lots of homes with character as well that haven't been touched since the day they were built.
Exactly. Exactly.
They are my favorite homes, by the way.
I have my friend Catherine Farnsworth. She's a photographer here in town, and a good friend. And she has a beautiful home in Toluca Lake that was built in like '44.
Beautiful area.
Yeah,
lots of character in that.
Oh
area.
my God! Mo Howard lived across the street. And Denzel Washington for a short period of time. Mo Howard's house was catty corner. The point being is it's a lovely like 4-bedroom, kind of a colonial looking house, but the point being is that all the appliances in the kitchen are all original, and they're just beautiful. Stuff like that really gets me going.
You can't find appliances like that
now
anymore.
How did you get into the real estate?
Well, my dad was a contractor
I thought you
and
told
a
me that.
builder. So I started in the mid-'80s, and I started when I bought my first property. It was a sixplex. My brother and I purchased this sixplex.
Which was where?
It was in Mid-City, Miracle Mile area.
Oh, hot.
Yeah, exactly. So throughout the 80s, I started buying and rehabbing single-family homes, flipping them for profit, obviously. And in 1999, I became licensed as a realtor to have better access to the market for my own personal reasons, for my investments and so forth. Then I started dealing with my buyers and sellers at that point. So I've been doing that ever since.
Well,
and I have my investment properties that I have,
And I'm sure that you probably work mostly on referral. I mean,
Sure, word of mouth is the best advertisement.
And
one
you've
can
got a
have.
network of obviously high end.
Well, yeah,
clientele.
when I'm born and raised here as well, so my relationships are throughout California.
Oh, certainly. And you've got your fingers on the pulse of what's really going on.
Sure, absolutely.
Do you have a lot of Persian clientele or? What? I'm asking. Sammy's rolling her eyes. Look, it's my show, the Bob Dean Show. Yay. And we can talk about whatever the hell I want. I mean that because the reason why I ask is because I've lived here for 13 years, and I always thank my friends who are from here for letting me move to your town, because everybody from LA is going to my hometown, Nashville, and fucking ruining it.
Yeah.
But
there are a lot of natives that have, packed their bags and left years ago.
Right, because they can get so much more for they can sell a smaller home and buy an incredible piece of property. But the reason is because there's so many teardowns in Beverly Hills and Westwood and things like that, and that's when and I'm sure it's going on in every city.
Yes.
But it just breaks my heart to see some of these places go.
Bob, I feel the same way. I feel the same way, especially in the neighborhood where I come from. I'm like Carthay Circle area, and the homes there. Well, in Carthay Circle, you're not allowed to do the constructions that you see going on throughout, Los Angeles.
Yeah.
But outside of Carthay Circle, it goes on a daily. And you have beautiful Spanish-style homes that are turnkey ready, and they're just demolishing these homes and building these,
ugly
these crazy box homes with no character.
It's like the gray color of my Volkswagen
Yes,
and glass, and then maybe a little bit of a hardwood look on the exterior.
Right.
But they're all the same. They're like tract houses of our generation.
Yes, and these same developers are building the same homes with the same plans, and the next block and the next block over, and the next neighborhood on the west side, the east side. They're just building these same homes that lack character.
They're just ugly.
So,
They're ugly.
Yeah, a lot of people feel that way.
Well, the thing that's really interesting too is like in my neighborhood, the Stoner, it's called Japantown now, and it's really neat. But the Sawtell area is that and I've talked about this a bunch, but the little houses. It's really weird how there was no zoning, was there, in the '60s? That's why Los Angeles has such a weird like you'll see. In my neighborhood, at the end of the block, there's the Jaguar dealership service center, which is well kept, and their garbage trucks parked down. But then you go over next block, and there's like 3 schools for the filthy rich, private schools,
Right.
But the houses in between Nebraska and Iowa up to Santa Monica Boulevard were all built in the 20s,
Sure.
And they're on these huge parcels long lots.
Oh yeah.
So they're very desirable. They're getting ready to take down 2 more. As a matter of fact, Dennis made that was my idea, but Dennis is the artist and made this poster that said, there's these palm trees. There's a house on the corner of Iowa and Stoner, and there's 2 of them that they're getting ready to take down. But there's between the 2 properties, there's 6 glorious palm trees. And when we made this big poster that said, "Dear developer, it only took me 92 years to grow to this majestic state, and in 1 hour you'll have me taken down, bastard." It stayed up for about 4 days.
Yeah.
But
I bet one got a kick out of that, huh?
well, you know. But okay, so your office is in Beverly Hills. What the people come to you? Do you have a favorite house of any kind of like history, or not so much like what it cost or whatever, but a favorite house that you did business with somebody that just had like some kind of really neat history or anything like that, or architectural intrigue or anything like that?
No, not at the top of my head. I can't think of one right now, Bob. But there are homes throughout, Los Angeles that I really, really, really love.
Mm-hmm.
There was a time where that Sunset Strip, starting from Beverly Hills out to the beach, or should I say starting from, let's say, Sunset and La Cienega.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a time where I would always take a drive, starting from that point, going west on Sunset all the way to the beach, and admire all the homes along the way,
Mm-hmm.
from Beverly Hills to Homely Hills to Westwood, the Palisades, and continue on through the beach. And I had favorite homes on the west side of the street, or the north side of the street, or the south side of the street. So there are homes that I love along that route, and I'd take a drive when I wanted some me time, and just that would be my me time drive.
Yeah,
if
I
you
understand.
will.
And that's why I like riding with somebody.
Yeah,
Because you could, when you're in the passenger seat, you can
Sure.
really look and see all the things that you bypass every day.
Right.
When
I mean, I really enjoy that.
Yeah,
just looking at homes.
There's a book I'm going to bring for you. I bought it at a used bookstore that they just recently tore down
Mm-hmm.
on the corner of Sawtelle and Santa Monica.
Okay.
But it's a paperback, but it's architectural wonders of Los Angeles,
Yeah.
and a lot of them are torn down. But it's huge, and it's just all it's got homes from all over the city,
Right.
that are just so neat. I'll bring that and have you
Oh,
take
yeah,
a look at it.
Yeah.
I'm a friend Nicole, our friend Nicole Summerfield, who we were doing the 405 traffic report, but it just got to be such a drag because she was never doing anything. Hi, Nicole. But she and Hans lived on Baxter. And Baxter Street is got all the press going on now.
Sure, right now.
Yeah, because
I'm
it's
very
like
familiar with that street.
It's crazy.
Even prior to the press.
Well, she and Hans rented this beautiful, beautiful home that these guys tore down and rebuilt.
Mm-hmm.
But I had, you see that street in all these old Three Stooges movies and stuff like that when there was no development. But
Right.
ladies and gentlemen, it's like the steepest hill of all of Los Angeles.
Yeah. I think it's the second or third steepest hill.
Well, it's
But it reminds you of
crazy.
the hills in San Francisco.
Yeah. Well, the first time I went over there, the house that they rented was right at the bottom. You go all the way up, and then you get to whatever street it is, and you go all the way down. And I'm that big Roadmaster station wagon. I thought I was going to bust a transmission down that thing.
Yeah.
But there are just so many cool homes and streets. And for some reason, I thought when I was moving out here that everything was going to be flat. I really didn't have a whole, but it's just beautiful and hilly, and
Yeah.
it's actually pretty green too.
Yeah. It's nice. That area is nice. Has lots of character in that
Well,
area.
now
as far as
didn't
homes.
you just got a gorgeous new condo in Beverly Hills, right? Well, it's been a year, right?
Well, it's leased out now.
Yeah. Oh, you're not there anymore?
We got something else, though, but we'll keep that quiet.
Well, I better be invited to the damn housewarming. Like the last one was a gas, man.
Yeah, that one's income property again.
Oh, is it?
Or now, should I say.
Well, it's a
Yeah,
beautiful
yeah,
spot, man.
yeah,
And I better be invited to that party because I'll tell you what.
That's right. You've
I'll
been there.
crash.
You went over to that.
Yeah, it was
it's
a
nice.
wonderful party.
Sure.
And I met your
sure.
brother.
Yeah.
And what's his name?
Harold.
Harold. And we had a great time talking.
Oh, he's great. He's a nice guy.
I did show up a little intoxicated. I hope I didn't make a jerk out of
And you
myself.
left intoxicated as well.
Yeah, well, that's how you do it.
Indeed.
So I didn't know you moved.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Do you like where you're at? You can't tell me where you're at.
No,
Where
I
you
don't
went to
like. I don't like where I'm at. I love where I'm at.
Do you?
I do.
Is it a home or a condo or what?
It's a home.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So you got a garage
It's
for the
another
parents?
home. It's another home.
And you can tell me where it is?
No.
Not now.
Not now. I won't.
No, of course not.
No.
Okay, so
can't do
your
that.
father, you said, are your folks still with you? Or
Nope. My
Okay.
parents no longer with me.
mine are gone as well.
May they rest in peace. I love them. They're great.
Mine as well.
I come from a lot of love, and it's a beautiful thing. They were great parents.
What were their names?
My mother's from the South, from Texas. Her name was Cresette.
Crisette?
That's
How
correct.
beautiful is that?
That's right.
Crisette, how lovely.
And my dad's name is Isidore.
Isidore.
That's correct.
Well, Crisette and Isidore are sitting up on a cloud with Bob and Stella right now, kicking their feet back and forth, going, look at those boobs down
Yeah,
there.
exactly. Those bozos. Look at those two bozos.
What does your day normally start out with? I mean, as far as like showings.
Well, it all depends, you know.
Naturally.
Yeah, I do. Majority of my clients are buyers at this time. I have several listings right now, but the majority of my clients are buyers, and I represent my buyers the same way I represent myself when I purchase a property. You know, I like to think that I'm a great negotiator, you know, and I'm fair, you know, and so in terms of my days, if I'm not looking at something for one of my buyers, I may be looking at something for myself, you know. And then as far as my listings, you know, I deal with a lot of marketing people to market my listings. And, yeah, and I deal with phone calls throughout the day, and I show my listings, you know. So, yeah, but that's pretty much my day.
And that's why you have that big old black Cadillac SUV, because you have to have something really swank to show people around.
And then exactly. I'll pick them up, drive them around. You know, if it's something real fancy that they're interested in, I have a car service contact, so I'll send car service to pick up clients of mine and bring them over.
Well,
you know, Bob, you got to spend money to make money sometimes.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
And now let me tell you something. When I become a big star, which I will.
Yes.
Probably
You are a big
after
star
I'm
now,
dead.
Bob. You're a big star now.
Well, when I make a little coin, you're the first person I'm going to come see, and I'm going to say, Dewayne, find me a haunted house.
Oh, yeah. I have one for you right now.
Do you really? Is it haunted?
I think it is. Yeah.
How old's the home? You don't have to tell us where it is or anything, but I just love this.
I think it's in the 20s, early 1920s.
Yeah, it just drives me. And if you even have the feeling that it is, if you've experienced anything, then it is.
Well, see, that's it, Bob. I can walk into a house and feel the energy of it.
Yeah.
You know, I can feel the energy. I can tell if it's good energy or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah, have you ever walked into a place where it just was like overwhelming, like I don't want to be here, or this is not good?
Yes, that's normally one that lacks natural lighting. Maybe one with too many stairs. You know, maybe the views aren't that great. You know, So yeah, you can actually tell. I can tell as soon as I walk in.
That's neat.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
It really is.
Because I ran a haunted bar on Miami Beach, which I talk about a lot. But the first incident was like I knew immediately, and it was just a gutted old building on Washington Avenue in a deco, 3-story hotel with the shops in the front. And it was completely stripped. There was nothing in it, and I was painting, you know, and then the whole place just filled up with cigar smoke. And I'm like, this place is haunted. Yay. But now Los Angeles just boomed. Nicole Summerfield gave me a book for Christmas several years ago of Los Angeles from the air then and now. And the pictures, well, most of them were taken, you know, in the 20s and 30s. And my favorite photo, which I'll bring the book in for you to look, is that huge Tudor on the corner of Park and Beverly Drive. Right across from the park where they just redid the fountain and all that. There's that huge Tudor right on the corner, and from the air, it's the only house. I mean, there's a couple other little structures, but it was just at the beginning of like the Beverly Hills development there, because all the big swank, Beverly Hills is beautiful, just like Belmead and Nashville and that sort of thing, homes of just architectural genius and style, to me, timeless style.
Yes.
But and then you go north of Sunset, and that's where all the like the Beverly Hillbillies estates and that sort of things are.
Of course.
But there's that thing in the Beverly Hills, a Welcome Center on the corner of Santa Monica and Little Santa Monica and Cannon, where they have framed pictures of
what that area used to look like.
Well, they have framed pictures of the ads, magazine ads, a 4-bedroom, 3-bath home in Beverly Hills for $66,000.
Really?
Yeah, you need to stop in and see it. They've got some great pictures in there.
Sure,
yeah, so I guess there's some of the houses, were I guess developed as like a planned suburb, maybe on a few streets.
Yeah, well, that particular area is considered the Beverly Hills Flats, which is extremely popular right now. When they first developed that area, it was more expensive than Truesdale, which is the area above the flats, north of Sunset, up in the hills. That's Truesdale.
No kidding.
So Truesdale was less expensive than the Beverly Hills Flats. Who would think a house with a view would be less expensive
Why
than homes
do
at
you
the
think that
flats?
is?
Listen, I can't explain it.
People
But
are afraid of coyotes?
It's reversed now, obviously. anything with a view is more expensive than something without a view. So now the homes in Truesdale are more expensive than the homes in Beverly Hills Flats.
What do you know?
But the Beverly Hills Flats are still very important, very popular and important.
Now, those of you that don't understand kind of like what we're talking about as far as like, now, you remember the show Beverly Hills 90210? now, that Shannon, Doctor, what her name was?
Doherty.
That Shannon Doherty character, they lived in the Beverly Hills Flats.
Yes.
Okay. And then their rich friends lived all up in the Truesdale North and in Holmby Hills and stuff like that.
Yes. Well, now the Beverly Hills Flats, it's becoming more expensive because with these new developments that are going on, these homes are going to be listed at $40 million, $45 million, $50 million.
Listen, Dwayne,
crazy stuff.
The bar where I work, it's like 70%, 75% local regulars, and everybody's groovy.
Yeah.
And I listen to some of these dudes. I'm not going to mention any names, but they're, I would say, 70 plus.
Yeah.
And real estate is an amazing hot topic.
Sure.
And I listen to these guys talk about what they paid for their home in 1969.
Yeah, it's insane, right?
And they're flabbergasted. They're like, I don't know how I paid $450,000.
Right.
And now it's just been appraised at like $6 million.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's
crazy.
nuts.
Listen, owning a home is part of the American dream.
Yes, it is.
Okay, and it's the best investment one will ever make.
I understand, and it absolutely is. But just as I was asking you before we started the show, the Bob Dean Show,
yay.
What your opinion was. I didn't, suggest for that you, but what your opinion is, because it is a whole nother hot topic, at least for us poor people, that it's just, you can't afford to live in LA anymore.
Yeah,
you can't. I mean, friggin' peanut butter is $9 a jar. Not to mention, that the average rent, like in like Compton or places that aren't regentrified yet.
These prices are becoming out of reach for most.
I know. That's why my rent-controlled apartment, they're going to have to blast me out of there.
It's because of our overpopulated city.
Thank you. And how many people in here now? 9 million?
Listen, I stopped counting a long time
ago.
I watched California or Los Angeles, Beverly Hills, West Hollywood. I watched it change.
I mean, I imagine that
throughout my lifetime.
In your 40 years on this earth,
Thanks, Bob.
I imagine
Appreciate it.
you look fucking awesome, though,
Thank
dude.
you.
Well, see how I look at it too is that Los Angeles just took off.
Big time.
I mean, through the 20s, 30s, it had to just be constant development.
Yes.
Yes. And this whole gentrification thing that's going on in every city. I have a couple of friends, Karen Praxel, she's been on the show before, and she and her husband Jimmy Hanks bought a house in what is the gorgeous but African American community?
Baldwin Hills.
Baldwin Hills.
Yes.
And they absolutely love it.
Yep.
And but it was just a matter of finding a gorgeous home.
Well, Baldwin Hills, Ladera Heights, View Park, all that started out very Caucasian.
Yeah, I was reading about Ladera Heights too. Yeah.
Big, beautiful area. Beautiful. I had a home actually in the La Tijera area, which is View Park, La Tijera, Baldwin Hills, Ladera Heights, and all those areas started out very Caucasian. So what happened was when the people that lived in those areas started making more money, they started buying in Beverly Hills. So what happened was the African American community, they couldn't afford Beverly Hills. So they bought in Baldwin Hills and those areas, Ladera Heights and so forth. And it just became, mostly African American.
It's a beautiful community.
It's extremely beautiful.
And isn't it Ladera Heights now that I was reading in the LA Times? And yes, people pick up a newspaper from time to time because I picked up one the other day, and let me get sidetracked for a minute.
Yes.
It's amazing that you can pick up this thing that's paper, and you can open a page, and you can read a whole article without some stupid douchebag commercial for penis enhancement pills or the Publishers Clearinghouse interrupting your reading, and then you can finish that and go to a whole other article right there. Now, even though Gannett controls all of our newspapers anyway, so we don't know what we're reading, but anyway.
But those papers still exist for that particular reason.
Exactly, and I love the newspaper.
People like to read still, pick up books and read.
But what was my point? See, this is where I go. We were just talking about something.
We're just talking about how the communities have changed versus black.
Okay, that's what
so
I was reading. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
I was reading about Ladera Heights
Yep.
and how the African American community is fighting gentrification. So they can keep, and this has been like a year ago, because they want to keep their style.
Right.
And I say, whatever you got to do it.
Well, this is what's happening now. Caucasian folks, Asian folks, everyone is buying in that area. They're going back to that area because it's more affordable for them than it is obviously in the Beverly Hills area, West Hollywood area, even certain parts of Miracle Mile. It's extremely.
It's just out of control.
It's out of control.
And it's I don't know. It's crazy to see, and like the whole loft thing. You know, that's all going on too. Yes. And I know that I was talking with some folks that they live. I can't remember, but it's like right in Los Angeles. Skid Row is pretty sad. I mean, I was lost there with Nikki one night. We were on our way to a nightclub. I hate to say that, but
hey, there's a lot of lofts down there. They're extremely expensive.
But people are gobbling them up too.
Yeah, they're buying them like crazy, turning them into art studios. And, and
that's what they did in Nashville too. I mean, on Nashville's what is it, First Street or whatever? It's I think one of the last in the entire country of the original buildings from like the 1700s that were, merchant buildings that are right on the river. Sure. And my friend Basha bought a place down there 30 years ago for like 28. And I mean, it's a huge space. She actually was at her studio, and her living quarters was like that house that they just took down in the Home of the Future at Disneyland. That's what it was like. In the middle of this huge space was this pod with 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms and a kitchen and a living room that it was really neat. Okay. But all that stuff now, it's crazy. I had a friend, he and his wife they moved from San Francisco 20 years ago to Nashville, and they were in their late 30s at the time. Mm-hmm. He was my boss for a short period of time, and we were talking. He said, Bob, we had a lovely 3-bedroom, 1-bath ranch home in suburban San Francisco. He said, for what I sold that for, we came to Nashville, and they live in this, it's like Thousand Oaks kind of area. They've got a gorgeous 5-bedroom home with a 3-car garage and a pool. He said, I paid cash for it. I bought my wife a brand new Corvette, and I bought myself a brand new truck, and I still had $500,000 in the bank. Now those days are pretty much going along the wayside there. Yeah, but I don't know. I'll never be able to afford anything.
Yes, you will, Bob.
Please
keep hope alive.
That's right. Subscribe to the Bob Dean Show so I can start charging you $1 an episode. Yay! Well, I had that house in Nashville that I lost in that flood, and I learned a lot about. Well, I've talked to you and Brandy about this the other night about insurance things and that sort of stuff and FEMA, and it's just, I don't know. I kind of like now, if I can't pack it in my trunk, I don't want it. Mm-hmm. Right?
Exactly.
Because it can go in a second. Where is that Cathy St. George? What? Did you stop us? I can never tell what you're doing over there. I am hot. It's hot in here.
It's all on your mind, Bob.
Is it? Yeah, I just told you it's because you're not 40 pounds overweight with a hairy back, Dwayne.
No, I'm not.
Does.
No, I'm not.
So now I can tell you. Oh, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. As I told you last week, keep your eyes on social media for the Hairy Back Man LA coming to a neighborhood near you.
That should be interesting.
It's going to be great. So, huh? Oh my God, Liam! I forgot all about Liam.
You gotta call him.
Holy crap! Oh my God, I hope he's still there.
Get Liam on the line.
Liam.
Hi, this is Liam Gearity. I can't take your call.
Oh,
come on.
Liam, I'm so sorry. We sat down and started recording. We're here doing the show now, and I hope you'll watch it. Dwayne and I started talking, and I got completely sidetracked, and my producer said, aren't you supposed to call your friend Liam?
So Liam, I know how you doing, buddy? It's Dwayne.
Well, he's on the. This is his voicemail.
I know.
Oh,
I want to say hello to him on his voicemail.
I'm so sorry, and I know you're probably sitting there just pissed off because you got 2 sick kids and your wife's all stressed out. I'm going to try it back real quick. Well, ladies and gentlemen, just another Bob Dean moment. What a dumbass! What a dumbass!
Come on.
I hope he picks up. Hello?
Hi, this is Liam Gearity. I can't take your call. Please leave a message.
Bob.
Yeah, I screwed up. All right, I'm only human.
Kidding me?
Okay, well, we'll just interview Liam on his voicemail. Our friend Liam Gearity and his lovely wife Christina, and they have 2 beautiful children and a third on the way. He is this bigwig with Frank Family Vineyards in Napa. Hi, Liam, because I know you better be watching this. And I'm so sorry, dude. I've been hammering on you to come on the show for months, and then you say yes, and I forgot to call you. I'm such a douchebag. Okay, we're back. Thank you all very much. We had a little... joining us now is Cathy St. George.
Hello.
She's like my unofficial co-host.
Yes. I just
and I love you for it.
every now
and Cathy and George and then Dwayne just met, and we're going to get on to a lot of
Cathy.
Playboy stories here, but first we're going to call my buddy Liam Gearity. He's our call-in guest. Dee 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 dee. One ringy dingy. Where's two ringy dingy? Two ringy dingy. Damn, we're gonna all
Must
be
have terrible service up there.
in that. Yeah, when the grid goes
The
down.
vineyards, terrible service up there.
Hello.
Hello, is this Liam Gearity?
Hello, Bob. How are you?
Very well. Thank you for being my call-in guest on the Bob Dean Show. Yay!
The pleasure is mine, sir.
Well, you know, I've been trying to get a hold of you for a long time, but I know that you're a busy family man now. And I don't know how people with kids do it because I have trouble worrying about my cats.
Are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Oh, come on.
Hello?
It's terrible service up there, Liam.
Well, we just lost Liam. We'll try him one more time.
Is he a mountain folk?
He and his wife live in Napa.
Oh, now
They're in the
that's
vineyards.
nice. That's
Yeah.
not mountain folk. That's winos.
They're exactly.
Yeah, well, he's a bigwig with the winery. Well, you never know what's going to happen on the Bob Dean Show. Yay. But it's always fun. We're going to get his voicemail.
He's probably trying to call you back.
I know. That's what always happens. I know all you watchers and listeners out there are just going, get on with this fucking show. Hello? All right. Well, you know, we're just going to go on. If he calls, Liam, I love you. We love you, baby. Love to Christina and the kids and the new baby on the way. If you call through, then we'll pick it up. But
There he is.
Effing.
hello?
Hey, guys. So, listen, that happens when you live out in the country like I do. I ain't in Beverly Hills, okay? I'm living in the sticks.
Well, that's what Cathy St. George was just saying. You know, you already spoke to Dewayne Henry is here, and my good friend Cathy St. George is here as
Hi,
well.
Cathy.
Hello. How are you?
How are you?
Damn,
Good.
you
How
got
are
that magical voice. How's your wife?
You know, Bob, everybody's really good up in Napa. We're living a simpler life, like Paris Hilton, you know. That's how it feels, man.
Well,
I'm Paris Hilton. My wife is that
Richie chick.
Nicole Richie.
Nicole Richie.
My son is the young Kim Kardashian before she became famous.
Okay.
We're living out in the sticks. You know, I used to drive a half hour to get to work in Beverly Hills, and I drive a half hour now. But now a traffic jam for me means you get stuck behind a tractor on the one-lane highway.
Oh my goodness!
And it's just a different lifestyle out here. I'll tell you what. But we drink wine morning, noon, and night, all the way through till the time we hit the bed. So it's a good life.
Well,
it's a different life from Beverly Hills, but it's a good life.
Well, guess what you're missing in Beverly Hills?
Catch me up. Fill me in on what's
You're
going on.
not missing a
in Los Angeles.
damn thing.
You're not missing
Well,
anything,
come on,
Liam.
no.
Nothing, Liam. Really.
Well, that's not very exciting. Make something up.
Okay.
Come on, make me.
Okay. Wendy had eye surgery, and Gail's lost like 40 pounds.
Tommy walks with a cane.
Tommy walks with a cane, bless his heart, and we love Tommy, but he's got a little knee issue.
Yeah.
Who's Tommy? Tommy
Gatto.
Yeah.
Tommy Gatto.
Oh, Tommy Gatto. Tommy Gatto.
And Dr. Marvin had a Super Bowl party, but apparently for 4 days after they talked about how there was way too much food. That's the fucking what's going on, dude.
I mean, these people will complain about anything.
Oh my
will.
God! Well, Lydia's been in town, and she's got a lot of new rules because all the other Wolfgangs. And I'm talking respectfully about the place where I work. Okay. Hey, I just hit my 8-year anniversary there. It's the longest bar gig I've ever had without getting fired for my attitude, Liam.
That's really impressive, Bob. That's a
But you
lot
should
to
see
be
how
proud of.
swollen my tongue is from my teeth going into it every night. But so you have tell us about the kids. Stetson is how old now?
Right. So I got 2 kids. My son is going to be 4 in September.
Holy cow!
My daughter just turned 2 last week. She's that's Harlow Gearity. Was born up in Napa.
Beautiful name, by the way, Liam.
Yeah.
Harlow.
Love
And then
that
we're
name.
bringing another little boy is going to come join us in August. We did the math on it the other day, my wife and I. We've lived in Napa for less than 3 years. My wife has been pregnant for more than 18 months. While she's actually had less time here that she can drink wine than time that she can't drink wine. And believe me, I know how hard that is because I have to live with her.
She's a delightful little blonde.
And that is not easy. Let me tell you what, wine is, I've learned a lot about wine since I moved up here. I found out that wine, even though wine was illegal during the Depression, you could go to a doctor during Prohibition in America, and you could have a prescription filled for a bottle of wine. You could get wine.
Really?
Yeah, just like nowadays you can get medicinal marijuana. Well, during Prohibition, you could get a prescription for wine, and you could say, these damn kids are driving me crazy, doctor. I need a goddamn glass of wine, and that's how some of the wineries in Northern California stayed in business during Prohibition. They made medicinal wine.
That is real. That's a fascinating. See, you're learning something new on the Bob Dean Show.
It's all medicinal to me.
But seriously, that's fascinating. I never even thought about that.
Wow.
It's true.
And go ahead.
I talk about wine to people all day long. And I don't know if it's a quote unquote drinking the Kool-Aid thing, but man, I think that all the answers to all the problems in the world are located somewhere in a glass of wine. You can find everything you need to know. It's all in there. If you just spend enough time looking in there and drinking it, you'll find the answers to all your problems. You really will.
Well, you know what? I've got a vibe right now that there's going to be a reality show about you and wine. The Franks, when they come in to Beverly Hills, they just speak so highly of you, and how happy and proud they are that you're part of the vineyard. And
they really are wonderful people. They're just great folks, and they're a joy to work with. It's fun to work for people who believe in you and people who give you the freedom to be successful and the support you need to make things happen. And they've been really good to me. They've given me a lot of power at the winery, a lot of leverage, and a lot of leeway. As the director of the winery, they gave me a shot to do something special, and that's what we're doing every day.
You bastard! I hate your guts.
Yeah, Frank.
No. I meant to say I'm so happy for you.
Thank you, Bob. That's much more like it.
I'm not jealous at all.
When's my case coming?
It's coming. It's in the mail. It's in the mail.
We are talking about the Frank family vineyard, and how long has the Frank family? It's what, third generation?
No, it's not. No. The owner of Frank family, he's the former president of Walt Disney Studios. He was the president of Disney in the 1980s. He is the president of the studio that created the films Little Mermaid, Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast, and Lion King. And at the end of 10 years of doing that job in Hollywood, he said, I've had enough of this world. I want to do something different. So he took the success he had at Disney and he parlayed that into buying a winery. And he started his winery So he started his winery in 1993. There was a show, Bob, that was on when I was young, and you might remember this too. It was on ABC's on Sunday nights, and it was called The Magical World of Disney.
Oh, are you kidding? I live for that show.
Yeah,
of course.
And it's
The Wonderful World of Disney.
The Wonderful World of Disney. So that was how kids like us. This is before DVDs. This is even before VHS. This is how you saw Cinderella for the first time. If you didn't see it in the theaters, there was no Netflix. You couldn't just dial up a movie, so you waited until Sunday night, and every Sunday night, a Disney movie would be shown on ABC.
Yep,
and
I remember
it was Rich Frank, who was the president of Disney at the time, who said, "We got all this fabulous content that nobody's ever seen. Let's partner with the television station, give them the content that they need." And let's show these wonderful old movies on television.
Man, you know what? That is really, honestly, truly, this is a great little piece of history. I had no idea. Please thank him for me personally.
I will. Yeah. He also came up at the right time in Disney, where during his time as a president, Americans were buying home entertainment systems. They were getting VHS players. They were getting big televisions, and they were investing in the idea of home entertainment as opposed to going out to the movies. So Rich Frank said at Disney, we've got all this great stuff. Let's put it in a special box and sell it for 3 times a normal VHS player. Like you would buy this collector's edition of Cinderella or Snow White, and they would say, this is only available for a limited time.
Right,
it's
right.
being released from the vault. And they would sell it for twice or three times as much as any other VHS tape. And that was all part of Rich Frank's legacy at Disney. And from Disney, he made enough money to leave Disney and start his little winery, and that's called Frank Family.
Well, I cannot wait. My buddy Dennis and I are planning a trip up to San Francisco at some point to visit my aunt, and it's going to be a road trip, and we are stopping in to visit you and Christina and the kids and take a tour
Well,
of the
you
winery.
come by anytime. You
All
bring Brandy and Dewayne too. I hear Brandy likes a little bit of wine.
Well, we both love wine. You know that, Liam.
I do. And Dewayne, your daughter's up here, right? Is she in Oakland?
She's in Oakland. Yeah.
Oh,
That's
then we'll
fabulous.
visit your daughter
My
too.
daughter's in Oakland. I was just
She's
there
lovely. I met her that
2
one
months
time.
ago. She's great.
Well, I think we should all do.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I got kids running around.
Hey, Liam, we're going to let you go, baby,
More
because we're going to
coming.
get on and talk about Playboy days with these two here. Listen
yeah,
to
yeah,
the
you can-
babies.
You can fill me in on that stuff too. I like that stuff.
Well, you need to be listening and watching the Bob Dean show. Yay.
Hey.
Bob
Please.
Dean Show.
Yeah. You didn't even know how to
Bob-
show, did you?
Bob and Dewayne, it's great to hear your voice.
Hey, you too,
guys are
Liam. I miss you, man.
Such wonderful people and such a big part of my life for so long. I miss you
Yeah.
guys.
Well,
all
we
the
miss you
time.
too, Liam, and I honestly, and I don't care who has anything to say about it, but I really miss having an intelligent conversation with somebody that speaks English when I go to work. And I'm not kidding. Love you, buddy.
Oh, Bob.
Kiss Christina.
Always so witty, Bob.
Yeah, that's
great to talk to you, buddy.
Witty.
Hey, Liam. Good talking to you. Okay.
All right.
We'll talk
Nice
soon.
meeting you.
Bye, buddy.
Bye-bye, dear. Nice to meet you, dear. Bye-bye, guys.
Thanks. That was Liam
I-
Gearity in Napa.
He's awesome.
I think if he keeps getting her pregnant, I think we might need to send him a condom dispenser, though.
something,
Because,
yeah.
they're not watching enough television up there.
yeah. I mean,
Well, listen, here we are back with Cathy St. George and Dewayne Henry.
hi, Cathy.
Now, these two, by 6 degrees of separation, there's at some point, we're going to let them just chat because Dewayne was a valet at the Playboy Mansion. Cathy,
was.
of course, was Playmate August of 83.
Two.
Whoops.
He gets
I
it
get-
wrong every time.
I'm telling you.
It's okay.
And, of course, Maybelline is here, too.
Maybelline.
Maybelline.
So let's talk, you guys. Let's hear it.
Well, the thing is, I was there when you were there. If I showed you a picture, you'd recognize, because I practically lived up there during those 2 years.
That was-
Not,
That
didn't
was a
live
great
there, but
time. That was a
never
great
went home.
time.
I know. I used to
Imagine-
stop in the middle of the night and have a steak and eggs on the way home with a little hangover there.
Well, now, why did you go to how did you get the job at the Playboy Mansion? And then why?
Well, being born and raised
'Cause you were
here,
just a kid then.
I was a kid. I was 18 years old.
Oh, yeah.
But prior to that, as a kid, with Hot Wheels and all these race
Matchbox
cars.
yeah,
and Matchbox
love 'em,
and all
baby.
that, I was a fan of cars. I wanted to have these cars. I wanted to buy these cars, drive these cars. And here in L.A. and California, it being the car capital of the world for luxury cars and vehicles and so forth, I got a job as a valet parker so I can have the opportunity to drive these cars. Now, I worked for a valet parking service that was fortunate enough to get the contract at the Playboy Mansion. And then I was lucky enough to actually be one of the selected few to work there, with this valet parking company.
Oh, I'm
So,
sure you had to be a select.
Yeah,
and it
and-
wasn't because of Barbie Benton's boobs or anything?
No, it was
She
not.
wasn't there anymore.
Oh, she was gone.
It was not. But during that time, the Playboy Mansion was having parties every single day.
Yeah, every
where
day.
they required, or needed rather, valet parkers.
It wasn't wild parties. Some nights it was just like game night,
Yes.
things like that. Hef loved
Yes.
Monopoly. Loved Monopoly. Every Tuesday or Thursday night they had this, like poker with most people, but Hef loved games and video games and all kinds of things.
He was genuinely a pretty cool guy, huh?
He was an extremely cool guy.
Now-
Loved entertaining.
Before I forget, isn't that when you were driving your Country Squire station wagon?
Yeah.
Did you
Would
have
you-
one of those,
Remember,
Kathy?
Steve Bing and I had. Steve Bing had a blue
Wood
one.
panel on the side?
No, mine was
No.
gold though, which
Oh, it
is
was gold.
worse.
Yeah.
May not be wood, but
Steve's-
it
who
was
had-
size of a hearse, and I could parallel park that thing with
Me
one
too, in my
hand.
Buick, baby. But who else had you? I remember you mentioning, but Steve, who had another one?
Steve Bing had a blue one, and he was a friend of Jimmy Cahn's, and
Jimmy Kahn.
yeah,
Oh, boy, would
and he
come
wrote
often.
Missing in Action when he was in high school because he'd hurt himself playing basketball, and he wrote this script, and they made a movie out of it. So he was this kid that was kind of in the know, and he and I both had them, and Jimmy Kahn would make when we'd pull up to a restaurant, and here's these two hideous, huge old cars, and Jimmy Conn would say, "I'm going to need those parked in front in case I have to leave." And they took the whole street practically.
That's when I pulled my Oldsmobile out in front of the Fontainebleau, and there was like 15 valets, and they're going, "You park it, no, you park it, you park it, no, you park it."
Exactly.
said,
I have a
"Somebody
taped
get
on
over here."
headlight.
Well, listen, you know what I love now about speaking of valets? I'll make it quick. Is that in front of Wolfgang's? I have a new Jetta that starts with a button. Mm-hmm. I have the '86 LeBaron convertible with the Chrysler, where the key goes up. You know, the
wow.
teeth go up, and then there's a thing. There's like a handle behind it, a safety thing that you have to put like with your middle finger when you take the key out. And then I've got the Roadmaster. That's an old General Motors product that, hey, to open the door with one key, start it with another. When they see me coming there, you can just see them start sweating.
Oh, yeah.
They're like, which car is he driving today, and how do I start it?
Yeah.
What is the most incredible car that you ever got to park or drive that you can remember at the Playboy Mansion?
Well, everything went through that Playboy Mansion. Your Ferraris, your Porsches, your Mercedes. And speaking of Ferrari and Porsches, don't let two of those pull up at the same time and two of us park that car. We're taking it on the Sunset Strip before we park that car.
I was going to
That's what
say.
we used to do. It would be a scene right out of Against All Odds. It was exactly like that. You know, because we figured they're going to be in there for 3-4 hours. You know, that engine's going to cool off by the time we're bringing that car
Did
back.
you ever get busted doing something like
Never,
that?
Never.
No kidding.
Never, ever. Because we had to park. You didn't park the cars on the premises. You parked the car at the bottom where the park
Comstock.
was. Exactly. That circle.
The Comstock is the street?
There's
the
a
street
park,
down below.
and yeah,
It's a
street
park
below.
down, and that's where we park the cars. You know, they would come in through the front,
Mm-hmm.
drive through security, make that left, go through that little tunnel where the kitchen is. You know where the kitchen is, Cathy? Right
course.
there. And that's where we were posted. And we'd take the cars and drive out, exit the back. You know, there's a back entrance down there, you know, on the street behind the mansion. And swing around the corner and park around that circle. And so when we come out that back gate, instead of turning right, we're turning left and heading Sunset. And
All
we're
right.
going for it.
See, this is real Los Angeles, ladies and gentlemen. This is Los
We
Angeles
are going
history
for
here.
it, man. You know?
Did
We had a
anything
great
ever
time.
scandalous, like a celebrity argument or anything, ever happen?
I've seen a lot. I'm sure you've seen a lot, Cathy.
Yeah.
You know?
Tell us.
I've seen a lot, you know?
Anything,
Listen,
like,
I'm
really
sure
juicy
we probably
good.
know where the
I
bodies
do
are
know
buried,
that I have a
don't we?
signed book from Bill Cosby, and I don't remember how I got it.
Okay. Listen. I do remember. That is funny, Cathy.
I got it in the store.
Wow. Wow. Only,
I bought it at a store.
George, ladies
Just
and
kidding.
the only Cosby story I have is bringing him his car, you know, when he was leaving one night and not receiving a tip.
Oh,
Kidding.
Yes.
I didn't
yes,
tip.
yes.
I didn't know we
Yeah.
were supposed to.
Hey, listen, Cathy, we made more money than our parents back then in behind
Really?
tips. In behind tips alone. We
Oh,
were being
wow.
tipped from $20 to $50 to $100 bills.
Yep,
Oh my God! Well,
easily.
that's why
Yeah.
then.
You know, big time. You know, it was 3 of us working there at the mansion.
Now,
At
I
least
think
5.
I saw a pic. You showed me a picture some time ago, 3 or 4 years ago, and you had was it an '86 5 Series BMW?
I had several BMWs.
Well, there's one that you're wearing like a hat
I
or
bought
something.
one BMW just from working there. You
Well,
know,
that's what I was going to say.
saving it.
Yeah, it's cool to have that kind of cash.
That was
when
in
you're a kid.
80.
He made more than I did then.
84.
Well, listen, that's how it was bartending in Miami. I was
Right.
at the same
Right.
age, and we made so much money, and
Yeah.
it was nothing to find $1,000 in your underwear drawer.
No,
I'd be like,
no.
when did I stuff that in there?
Oh, yeah.
But of course, look at me now.
I'm
you
gonna
know.
go check my underwear drawer when I get home.
Well,
And they weren't taxing tips then, so we were
No,
saving
exactly.
everything.
Because you know why? Because people tipped in cash, ladies and
That's
gentlemen.
right.
Tip in cash. Cash.
That's right.
Thank you.
Exactly.
I mean, if you know, to ensure proper service is what tip stands for. So if I do a good job, please tip me in cash.
And they also had to argue with us if we drank too much and wouldn't let us drive our cars home. We had to take taxis. They were very good and took very good care of us.
Yes.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
It was a great place to work and be at the same time. The atmosphere was just incredible.
I can't imagine how cool it must have been.
It was extremely cool.
Now,
Seen a lot.
we talked about this. I was asking you, does anybody know any future about the Playboy Mansion?
You know,
Didn't the guy next door buy it?
Yeah, I think they're going to. They're not. They're
He's
not
like
going to tear it
32
down.
years old or
Yeah,
something?
no, he's older than that. I can't.
But they're not going
remember.
to tear it down. That's
No, it's
you
not
know,
gonna be
I've never
torn
been there in my
down.
life, but that's his whole thing is like, please don't. But
It's not going to be torn down. They're going to preserve the mansion. Actually, it's been preserved for many, 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 many years. the inside.
Mm-hmm.
All that old school DNA is still in there,
I
Kathy.
know.
In
Never
the-
take a black or
When-
those blue lights in there or whatever they are.
Don't do it. You're going to see everything in there, trust me. You know, when it was first bought and sold and became corporate, that's when they started hosting all the parties outside. You know, all of them, majority of all the parties. There was no more hosting parties inside at that point, to my knowledge.
Because it paid,
Yeah.
they made a lot of money on that,
Yeah,
so.
you know. But I like to also think maybe they wanted to preserve that old school DNA that was in there. You know?
In the grotto.
Exactly.
Kim Dixon, that's
All
my
of
friend
that.
whose father designed the grotto. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's kind of work my father did when
No
I was
kidding.
growing up. Stonework like that.
What a great time to be there, man.
It was an awesome
It was
time.
the best
It was the
time.
best time, wasn't it?
I've hit every good, I hit Studio 54 in the 70s and 80s. I was born at just the right time because
Yeah.
now it's just dull.
It's very
Mm-hmm.
dull. Now everyone lacks an imagination. Back then it was just great. The Playboy Mansion was really an escape from reality for stars. There were stars. There's no such thing as celebrities. The Playboy Mansion hosted stars. Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah,
we
not
have the
internet
opportunity-
douchebags.
No, we have the opportunity to meet and become friends with stars. I did. I'm sure you did, Kathy.
And we'd lay by the pool. We'd get to go up, and it was like his house was our house. So if you just were bored and you said, "I want to go lay by the pool," you'd go up and lay by the pool and order a sandwich, and then an emu would chase you for your sandwich. With a bird. There were some mean ass birds. Yeah.
The place is very tropical with all the trees.
There was
and
one
everything.
that you'd walk by the bird and he'd go bump de bump bump de bump.
Yeah.
What an ass.
Yeah. Birds, everything were walking the premises. It's
And
crazy.
Mom and Papa Dog were down there.
Yeah.
Where you guys would park.
Yes.
Did you ever have anybody that, because I love this stuff, that was particularly nice, because tending bar in Beverly Hills for so many years, I've met so many celebrities. And not to be like, oh, I'm your biggest fan. And,
Right.
whenever I see somebody that I always admire, I always make it a point to stop them for just a second and say, hello, I'm Bob Dean. And if it's a comedian, thank you for the laughs.
Right.
Or thank you for the
Sure.
entertainment. Thank you for the music. And and then that's it,
Right.
And it catches them by surprise. And they're like, well, you're so welcome.
Well,
And
back in those days, you'd see them out publicly.
Well,
At the
that-
Chasins,
Yeah,
Gardens,
Chasins
all those places you can sit and drink with them, eat with them, hang out with them. I was friends with a lot of them. Burt Reynolds was a really good friend of mine back in the day. I met
I've always
him
loved
at
that
the
guy.
mansion.
Yes.
James Caan. I used to see James Caan, everybody around back in the day.
Well, there was some scandal that went on in a place in Beverly Hills last night that I won't mention the name. And it was over somebody that apparently is a celebrity now. And I'm not going to mention it because really I've made it 8 years without getting fired. Oh, it wasn't at Wolfgang's.
Okay.
But I'll tell you all about it later. But it was just so pathetic that in my opinion, that this particular person, people were like, oh, he's this celebrity. And I'm like, well,
Right. Right.
And of
right.
course, this is one of my unclimactic stories going nowhere. So, but it's my show, the Bob Dean Show. Yay! Well, damn it! I think we're out of time.
Aww.
Well, we are out of
It's just
time.
getting good.
I
Oh, it's
know. Well,
real good.
well, will you guys come back on again and we'll just
Absolutely.
talk about the mansion?
Yeah, Kathy and I would
fine.
talk about where the bodies are buried.
I would seriously. I'd friggin' love it. Can you be on time?
I was early last week.
No, honey, I know. And last week you weren't even supposed to be here. It was
Well, that just shows you how early I
you
was.
are a doll, and I really.
I came early for this week last week.
Honey, I really invite you to come back anytime you want and be my co-host. It's really fun.
Thank you.
Okay. But yeah, can we do that? Sometime in July.
We'll
We'll
strictly
say,
discuss the mansion.
absolutely. Oh my
Because
God.
there's lots of stories. I'm sure you and I can go back and forth with the
Oh,
bunch.
yes,
I have
definitely.
several stories.
Because I actually moved to New York the end of '83, so I was there most of the time. When you were
Okay.
there, yeah.
All right. Sure.
And
sure,
I lived
sure.
there practically.
Oh my God. See,
I used to
ladies
go
and
up
gentlemen.
in my pajamas, and they weren't pretty, with a ponytail on top of my head, and watch TV because I didn't want to sit home alone while Hef played Monopoly, and I just sit in there and watch TV,
See again. the
looking like a
mansion.
mess.
It was a place for one to escape reality.
Oh my gosh, I love it. See,
Yeah.
on the Bob Dean Show, yay!
Yeah.
Only will you find Cathy St. George and Dewayne Henry talking about the play. And honestly, God, I'm getting chills. I love this.
Oh, yeah.
So we're gonna have another episode with you guys coming in, just talking about the mansion.
I'll
Is that
bring
all
some
right?
pictures from the 80s, early 80s
Oh,
too,
that'd
that
be
were taken by
great.
the
I
people
would love
at
to
the
see
mansion.
those. I'd love to see those.
Yeah, I've got some good ones.
Yeah.
Oh well, thank you guys so much for joining us. And I was just
Thank
giving you a
you.
rip about
You're
being
welcome,
late
Bob.
again. And
I
listen,
was a tardy bird.
I do. You guys are my friends, and I love you a lot. And thanks for coming on the show
Likewise.
again.
Yeah.
I know Dwayne's got a hot date with his lovely Brandy, so I know he wants to get the hell out of here. Ladies and gentlemen, please thank you so much for listening and watching the Bob Dean Show. Yay!
Hey.
I had to burp there. Sorry.
I did too a little.
Just a little one. Please download us on iTunes because we're hovering at 7,000, I believe now, downloads, and I need to start making some money. and Stitcher on your Android phones, and my website, thebobdisorderlycomic.com, and now the Bob Dean Show on YouTube. Now remember this too: when you type in Bob Dean, that guy that does all the UFO stuff and all that, he comes up, and I'm like hidden in the middle of somewhere. So just be diligent about it. And we're going to say goodnight from Los Angeles, and love you, love you, love you. Oh, I'll be at the
Night.
Ha-Ha on June 11th. Thank you all. Bye.
Thank you.
Yay.
Bob Dean.